Are you a busy professional man lying awake 2 a.m. wondering why you are at your heaviest weight despite trying everything to lose the weight? In this video I'll share 5 fat loss mistakes that wrecked my metabolism and how I finally lost the weight again. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button because I'm making a new video about weight loss advice every single week. I use these strategies to lose 60 pounds in 8 months and kept it off for 13 years, and I've helped dozens of men just like you lose up to 60 pounds and finally escape the yo-yo dieting cycle. If you're tired of constantly losing and gaining the same weight, I want to help you get to your healthy self without giving up the foods that you love. The first bad mistake that I was told is just eating less, and that was not helpful because if you're awake at 2 a.m. and you're wondering like why you're constantly hungry and you're feeling exhausted and not seeing the results that you want despite eating less, it's just about cutting calories is not enough. Let's imagine that you are a man 35 years old and you are needing 3,000 calories to maintain your current weight, but some weight loss influencer who's never lost any weight telling you that maybe, well, the person is just not experienced, that tells you that you need to eat 500 or 1,000 calories, and that just plummets your metabolism because the deeper you are in a calorie deficit, you are going to lose weight, but you need to be consistent. Keep me at it. And if you are just not having the right amount of calories, like a calorie deficit, you are actually going to destroy your metabolism in the way that it takes a long time for you to recover it. And in order to recover it, you just need to maintain your current maintenance calories where you are just eating that for 2 weeks and then it wants to be recovered, and you don't want to do any cardio or heavy ass weight training because that is just screwing up your energy levels when you need that to recover your metabolism. So the right thing you should do instead is use a sustainable calorie deficit where you are in 300 or 500 calorie deficit and you are having 45% of your daily calories come from protein. That helps you lose weight and build more muscle, and also increases your metabolism and also the amount of recovery. And also having 40% of daily calories coming from carbs, because carbs essentially just helps you recover faster after you've been working out in the gym where you break down all the muscle tissues, and it also helps you recover faster after you've been working out so you don't feel exhausted. You are able to go at your work and have high energy levels when you are talking with clients and doing presentations, and it also helps you have good focus because if you need to be at your all best and have long-term sustainable energy, for example for the whole day, you are a high-performing man and you're also in the afternoon, you know that you have some presentations that you need to be very focusing on, that is going to help you a lot. So it's always about picturing that don't go all in, because losing weight is something that takes a long ass time, and it's about spreading out your efforts. In the beginning you want to have eating as much calories as possible, and then the more you are breaking through the weight loss plateaus, you want to adjust thoroughly and properly, where you are the first couple of weeks, 2 weeks, you're following this calorie deficit and you are maybe having 6,000 steps a day, and then you are just following this macro diet, and then eventually you just want to increase the amount of steps with 2,000 steps, and also you're working out 5 times in the gym, and the cardio sessions, you don't do anything of that. I would love to know what is your biggest takeaway so far in the video. Just comment below and let me know. The next bad fat loss advice that I got was that I needed to do more cardio. Let's imagine that you're waking up 5 a.m. and you are told that you need to do any cardio before you have a full day of working, and you are hitting the gym maybe after work, and then you're wondering why your body is still not changing, and it's just because that if fat loss is stalling, you just been giving a piece of advice that you need to burn even more calories. That is itself like good and bad. The reason why it's bad is because if you don't have your calorie deficit in order and you're just thinking that you can wing in your diet and then you're just burning more calories, you might just go back home after work and you're eating a muffin. So the amount of calories that you've been burning through the cardio session, 400 calories, you can just replace that with eating a muffin of 400 calories. So the reason why I think that you should do something else is that, let's imagine that you are adding, I was adding more cardio to my, for example, my workouts, and I started out with, for example, a few cardio sessions on top of my weight training, but that was okay. But the problem with that is If I was just going to the gym and I was doing all the cardio sessions in the beginning, I had barely any energy because I was just not doing the right way. If you are going to the gym and you want to focusing on fat loss and muscle building, you want to start out with your workouts where you have the most energy levels, because if you're building more muscle mass through high intensity workouts in the gym with strength training, you are building more muscle mass, and that helps you lose fat even faster, even when you are not even when you're not in the gym. For example, if you are someone who's focusing on 4 exercises and it's, for example, 2 compound exercises where you're targeting one specific area of the muscle group. For example, it could be shoulders, you're doing military press, and then you're doing dumbbell shoulder press. There's like 2 compound movements already. You are targeting both the front part of the shoulders and also the triceps, and it takes a lot of energy levels where you are feeling depleted afterwards. And then you want to targeting the side part of the shoulders where you are doing standing lateral raises and then seated lateral raises, and you want to always increase the amount of weight that you're putting, because if you're always challenging yourself and having 60 seconds of rest before each of the sets, and also you're doing 1 to 2 reps before failure, you are in a place where you have created the perfect environment for you to have enough intensity to allow your body to build even more muscle. And it also helps you that you really need to, for example, have enough carbs after you've been working out, because let's imagine that you are doing all this workout and cardio sessions, and instead of feeling more fit, you're just feeling more exhausted. You don't have any energy levels to recover faster. For example, after work, you are feeling that you're so exhausted that you're barely having any energy levels to be awake, and you are working and you are constantly sore in your legs. Your performance at work is just dropping, and that also affects your way of feeling confident. So maybe you're just feeling confident to take on these some projects, and that also has a dip in your performance in the way that you're not getting the promotions that you want, and it really fucks you over in the way that you are just feeling so demotivated and you have less energy throughout the day. And for example, if you are someone who is at your heaviest weight and you're still working out even more, and your performance, for example, in the gym is just declining, is maybe because you're not doing the right way. If you're just going to the gym in the beginning and you are just doing 1 cardio sessions where you're spending an hour on a treadmill, you're just too depleted to having energy levels to perform the right way to working out, because it's very taxing on your nervous system when you're working out with strength training and also with cardio session. And if you're doing cardio, like that is putting a lot of stress on your nervous system. So it's about spreading out the amount of work that you're putting. So I always recommend that you are starting out with weight training, and then afterwards you're doing like 20 minutes on a stationary bike with a heart rate of 120. Because you have enough energy levels to do that. Cardio in itself is something that helps you burn even more calories, but it shouldn't be the primary reason for you to go to the gym. You want to have your diet work for itself, and also the amount of steps that you are putting in, like 6,000 steps a day, and then you want to slowly include the cardio sessions of 20 minutes, like 3 or 4 times in the beginning after 2 weeks of having your diet work for itself. So just make sure that you are taking notes, because it's going to be very helpful so you don't yo-yo dieting all the time. The third advice you've been told is that you need to lose weight as fast as possible. And if you are a basic man at your heaviest weight and you lost weight before, and you're wondering why the hell is all the weight that you've lost gained back right now, and it's just not the right way to lose weight in a fast way. It's more about having it being sustainable. So what happened to me, that I was losing weight in the beginning, I was so obsessed with seeing the scale dropping every single week, and if I was not losing any weight or fast enough, like 1 to 2 pounds, I was just cutting all my calories or amping up the amount of steps. And it's right in a way, but sometimes it's also very bad, because you also need to track your progress. Let's imagine that if I was doing the same things that I was doing, like obsessing with my scale, and I lost some weight and I was not losing weight quickly enough, I was also losing more muscle mass, and I looked like very flat and I look like a skinny person who is not looking lean and muscular, and I was not feeling confident because I was just looking like a stick figure. And the second that I realized is that extreme dieting is not sustainable because I'm just burning out after a couple of days or maybe the first week, and I regained the weight and I was just feeling like, man, why is all the effort I've putting in not getting any results? And that was very frustrating. So I don't want you to do the same thing that I did. It's more about having it being more sustainable. For example, instead I was picturing that I need to slow down my progress and just be very mindful and just preserving as much muscle mass, because that's like the foundation of losing weight, that you have a lot of muscle mass when you are losing weight, and accept that it takes a long time before you are going to lose weight. In order to track your progress the right way is that despite all the things that I already mentioned in the beginning, you also want to step on the scale like week 1 on a scale. You don't eat anything, you don't drink anything, you are naked, and you've been taking a piss, and then you're just hopping on a scale, and then you write down the amount of weight that you have. And also you want to have a measurement tape where you are having measurements about your body so you are able to track, because if you are someone who wants to lose fat and weight loss is different. Fat loss is what you want to aim for, because if you are losing fat all around your body, like inches around your waist, it could be every 4th week you're taking these measurements, and then some week you are only hopping on a scale and you're maybe only losing like a half pound, and the weight scale is not taking in consideration that you are drinking more water. One day you're holding on more water, or maybe you've been increasing your muscle mass. It doesn't take so much in consideration of that. So that's why if you are having measurements and you're losing inches around your waist and you're building more broad shoulders, like inches around your shoulders, your arms are getting bigger, it's a sign that you are getting stronger and you're looking more lean, and also the waist is just shrinking. So that's what you want to aim for. And also before and after pictures, having a friend taking a picture of you in shorts, like having your overbody like exposure, no clothes on, doing it in the same lighting, the same day, where for example is the lighting that looks more authentic, before, after, the front, back and side. So, and every 4th week, that makes it look more authentic and it's easier for you to compare every 4th week. Fourth advice that I got is that weight loss is all about calories. And let's imagine that you lost some weight, but the problem is that when you look yourself in the mirror, you don't feel confident and you avoid taking pictures. You don't feel like yet you are looking attractive, and it makes you realize that I don't just want to be losing weight, but I want to feel more fit, confident, attractive. And that is why losing weight for the sake of losing weight is just not the right thing, because I see too many people just like myself. I used to just losing weight and eventually I was just looking like a stick figure, because all that matters to me was just losing weight. But you want to instead, in my opinion, what looks more best as a busy professional man is that you are losing weight, and you're also having a lean, tone, muscular body that exudes confidence, being very healthy. Because if you are a busy man who is going to the work and you want to attract clients, career opportunities, and maybe attract a beautiful wife, you also need to look attractive and confident. So I don't want you to just lose weight for the sake of losing weight, because what happened to me, I was just becoming very obsessed with the scale, weight, and everything rather about just being fitter all the time, and I was not thinking about building muscle, because I was just thinking, okay, I'm just looking more fit. And it's also about, for example, it's more about the body transformation, not about weight loss. Because if it's more about body transformation, it's always about how can I every week or every other week adjust my goals so I am looking more like a lean, athletic person. For example, after 4 weeks or 8 weeks or 12 weeks that you've been losing a lot of weight, and you eventually see that you've lost all the weight, but you still need to pack on more muscle mass on your shoulder, your arms, your thighs. And the way that you're doing that is when you've already been in a calorie deficit for 12 weeks, then you want to go up to your maintenance calories. You are, for example, putting all your new stats, your new weight, and also your height, your gender, age into a macro calculator, and it calculates your new, for example, maintenance calories, and then you just stay there for 2 weeks, and from there you're just going into a slow muscle building phase where you for 8 weeks are building more muscle, or maybe 12 weeks, so you are in a calorie surplus where you're eating 100-200 calories above your maintenance calories. You reduce the cardio with 0, and so the first 2 weeks you are letting your calorie surplus help you with losing more, getting more weight. And if you are losing if you're gaining 250 calories grams a week, that's good, because half could be muscle mass, half could be fat. So it's about minimal, for example, amount of fat that you're putting on, but most maximum amount of muscle mass. And the way that you are just building more muscle mass is still using the same workout plan that you're building with the weight training, and still challenge yourself every set you are. Let's imagine that you're doing military press, is 4 sets. The first one is warm-up set, so you are getting some blood out into the muscle. But the first warm-up set is 10 to 12 reps. You pick a weight, and then the next set, that is the first set, you are increasing with 2.5 or 5 kilos, and then you want to perform the set 1 to 2 reps before failure, because if you are pushing yourself where you're not able to push yourself even more, then it's a good thing, and also you want to note it down. The next thing that you're doing is 60 seconds where you're having a watch. You are looking at the watch, seeing how long you are taking, and then you want to increase the weight again, and then 60 seconds, and then sometimes you're not able to increase the weight all the time, but eventually it's just something that you need to write down. And if you are the next week are able to maybe do 1 rep more or increase the amount of weight that you're putting, that's awesome, because that's a sign that you're building more muscle. The last piece of advice that wrecked my metabolism is that I was told that I need to stay in a calorie deficit for as long as possible. And the problem is that if you've been dieting for months, your motivation is just fading. You're feeling exhausted, tired, your body aches, you are feeling that your nervous system is about to break down because you've just been mentally pushing yourself with weights, and you're just feeling that you are just sluggish, trouble with sleeping, and the scale is just slowing down, and you are scared that if you're eating more, you gain all the weight back. And that's why never stop dieting is just something that you've been told, and I don't want you to do, because the reason why I think it's a bad idea is that I was told that maintenance calories is just a failure, because if I stayed in a calorie deficit, it's good, but if I didn't, it would risk all my progress that I've been putting my efforts into. My workouts was also suffering, and I was not able to do the cardio because I was just feeling depleted. Work performance, for example, at work, I was just feeling sluggish, not able to focus, and I was just mentally exhausted. I just wanted to give up. But where I was just at my breaking point, I realized that I need to do something else, and in order to lose weight on a continuous basis, you also need to have a mental break, like a diet break. For example, after 12 weeks, you are in a calorie deficit, you've lost some weight, and in order to have for example, a diet break essentially is just, like it says, a diet break where you are, let's imagine that you have your new calorie, your new weight, and you lost 10 kilos, then you want to put in your new age and your new weight, your height into a macro calculator, figure out what the new maintenance calories are, then you just stay there for 2 weeks, and then you just eat the amount of calories. You don't do any cardio, you don't do any weight training, you maybe light walks, 5,000, 6,000 steps a day, and you are having the same macros of 45% of the daily calories coming from protein and 40% coming from carbs, and the rest is just fat. Because if you don't have any of the strenuous weight training, the demand of cardio that is exhausting yourself, making you feel very depleted, and you are just focusing on eating at the maintenance calories, your body is rewarding you in a way that you are getting enough rest. You're feeling that the nervous system is being more restored, and you're also sleeping better because nervous system is just being not taxing by all the weight training, and you feel more motivated, you're feeling more happy, especially at work, and also if you are doing some light walk after work, you feel more motivated to do that. And what I've learned is that if you stop temporarily, then in the long run you are able to recover faster. So if you have been depleting and you have the 2 weeks of diet break is done, then you want to slowly go into a calorie deficit again, where it's like 300 calories, and then you just don't do any cardio the first 2 weeks. You're still doing the weight training of 5 times in the gym, and then 6,000 steps. The way that you are going to feel better is that you are having a lot more motivation, you don't have any aches in your body, the muscles, and you're able to push yourself further because you are being recovered. And that is why I think that these 5 mistakes that I've been fucking up my metabolism is going to help you. So if you want to lose the weight for good and become the most healthiest version of yourself, just like you saw with me and my client transformation in the beginning of the video, there's a link in the description and also in the comment section where you can apply for coaching with me, and we'll see if you and I are fit to work together, and I'll help you build a game plan to lose the weight for good. Bye.